Do you remember a while ago when we showed you how amazing the dairy aisle is for making all kinds of things? Well, guess where we're going today? The frozen food aisle. But this is important to know. Frozen is not a 4-letter word. Well, of course, that's because it has 6 letters, but also because you can make some amazing things starting with frozen items. All right, it's enough of this. Let's get back and cook. And today's video is brought to you by EasyHomeMeals.com and sponsored by the National Frozen and Refrigerated Foods Association. And everything we're making is with a tailgating session in mind. And if it's not obvious, I'm not actually even sure why it would be. When it comes to tailgate food, I like a little different. I don't just want a dog or a burger. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Today, a little out of the box thinking, a little out of the freezer aisle thinking to get you in the right direction for what you might be making this tailgate season. We're gonna begin with breakfast because I know a lot of you guys, you get to the whole thing, you start setting up your deal and you're cooking things and it's gonna take a while for it to come out. But the people that are there early with you might be a little bit hungry. So first up is a breakfast item, and the first thing we're using, frozen taquitos. Right out of the freezer aisle. Oh, by the way, these ones have been microwaved about a minute. And now we turn them into fantastic scrambled eggs. I know a couple of taquitos don't look all that exciting. By the way, these guys are beef and cheese. You could use anything you wanted, but we're gonna make them great. First up, just chop them. Away you go. Now that you have them, it's time for the pan. First thing in, little pat of butter. Get this melting. Melt, 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 little guy. And by the way, as it's melting, these little burners are a godsend when it comes to tailgating. It just gives you so many more options, like you're gonna see. Once that's happening, then we come with the taquitos, and these are gonna get, a couple minutes to start getting a little bit crispy. Think of this as a super quick cheater version of chilaquiles. You can see they're starting to brown a little bit, which is great. And because we're tailgating, yes, you might have all kinds of equipment and stuff, and that's fine, but we're going super simple. When it's time, the eggs are gonna go straight in. I'm not even gonna beat them first. So give this 2 minutes, then we continue. And when it's time, in we go. 1, 2, stir like crazy, little salt and pepper, and one more thing, just a little cheese, like that. Uh-oh, I dropped some. Kill the heat. Ah, it's perfect. And we're there. Let's put them on a plate. And like so. I love the cheese pull on these. Honestly, you give one of your tailgating friends, maybe even the next door guys, this, and you know they're gonna be really happy and jealous that they didn't make it. Taquito eggs. It's genius. And delicious. Next up, an entire chicken and waffles breakfast casserole. Make it at home, bring it, heat it up at the tailgate. Watch this. This one you're gonna like. These are 10 waffles, have been toasted. It's a pound of chicken, crispy chicken. Came from the freezer, out of a package, I just cooked it. We're gonna cut up the waffles into small pieces, we cut up the chicken into small pieces. They both go into a baking dish that I've sprayed. Next up, 10 eggs already beaten. We had a cup of milk, big handful of shredded cheese, and about a third of a cup of maple syrup. That gets mixed. On top of the chicken and waffles it goes. Make sure everybody gets some of the egg mixture, and we're there. That's it. 350, 30 minutes, you'll be very happy. Stay right there. And our casserole is done. Heck, get that chicken and waffles, breakfast style. What's not to like? Chicken, waffles, it's beautiful. Let's get ourselves a little bit. Now, chicken and waffles, breakfast style still needs one thing, and that would be a little drizzle of some hot honey to really make it fantastic. And now, let's curate one bite. A little piece of chicken, some waffle, and we're away to the races. You're gonna be so happy. Do what I did. Get the chicken crispy in the oven before you build it into the casserole. Oh my God, it's so good. But now enough of breakfast. That's been 2 things. Now we're moving on with a very simple fish stick taco. One of the greatest things in the frozen food aisle are fish sticks. Oh, not just for eating like little kids. We're gonna make these into the most delicious fish stick tacos. Here's all I've done. I took frozen fish sticks, put them on a plate, microwave them 1 minute. That's all we need. Now we come here. This pan is now warm. We take a couple of these guys and in they go. Okay, we'll make 3. And all you're doing now is watching these guys so they don't burn, but you want them crispy. Because they'd come out of the oven crispy, we don't have an oven with us. We have this, we're gonna get to the same spot. And while that's happening, why don't we take a couple little street-sized corn tortillas and get them in here as well. You wanna put oil in the pan? You can do that. I think you're a little crazy. Just wait till these guys are done and the tortillas have some color on them. It's already happening. And we're there. Here's what we do. Take a tortilla, we put it down. We take a little cool sour cream, dairy aisle, mixed with a little of your favorite hot sauce, a little finely shredded cabbage, and 2, and then these little guys. Perfect. They're perfect. There's 2 or 3 biters. I love them. So good. But who's ready for an orange chicken burrito at the tailgate? Did I say orange chicken burrito? I meant a Chinese burrito with orange chicken fried rice and spicy noodles, all out of the freezer section. Watch this get made. Flour tortilla, like that. And we take our base and we'll use the fried rice for this. Next up, our orange chicken. We made one of these a few years ago, but we made all of the components ourselves. Let me tell you something, this is gonna be so delicious and way easier. Last but not least, some of the noodles, and we roll. Now, you wanna make these ahead of time, wrap them in foil, warm them up on the grill, you can do that. You wanna make them there, you can do that. But whatever you do, just make it. Holy snap. It's so good you might not even go into the game. Okay, go into the game, but make one of these first. Next, 2 different items in the frozen food section that become one very delicious thing. Confused? Just watch. I promised 2 things and I have 2 things. That's macaroni and cheese. You cook it in the oven, you cook it in the microwave. However you do it, get it hot and cook through. This is buffalo cauliflower. Same thing, oven, microwave, choice is yours. Individually, they're great, but the 2 of them together are fantastic. And by the way, if you got kids, they'll never know you've snuck vegetables into what might be their new favorite mac and cheese. So spread it out a little bit. If you have extra buffalo sauce you want to drizzle, by all means. Remember, this is all you. We add one more thing. This comes from the dairy aisle, and all it is some slices of mozzarella right on top like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is going back in the microwave till this is melty, bubbly, and fantastic. And voila. Look, the only thing I'll give it is a little, I can't help myself. It looks much better, you have to admit. Now, if you're looking at this, you're going, okay, Sam, great, but it's not like I have a microwave at the tailgate. You make it ahead of time. You get it like this. You wrap it in foil. You put it on the grill, indirect side. No heat right underneath. Heat's off to the other side. Just leave it on there for half an hour. It'll get there. And then you get to do this. Melty, cheesy, gooey, delicious. That's what you get to do. Max loves a cheese pull. Who wouldn't? Buffalo chicken? Uh-oh. Oh, so good. Listen, this is one of the great parts of a tailgate, making it ahead of time, warming it up. The work is done. You get to sit back in your chair, put your feet up, drink a whatever you want. It's your favorite at a tailgate. And when you do it in this container, you throw the container out. Now we're thinking, did somebody say shrimp? Oh, I did. Watch this one. I call these barbecue shrimp, not because we do them on a barbecue, because we're gonna actually do them in a pan, but it's flavors of barbecue that's important. But while I cook them in the pan, I'm also gonna make some Texas toast, also out of the freezer section. Looks like this. The typical way would be to cook this in the oven. Toaster oven, I guess toaster, but we don't have that here, so I'm gonna use the grill behind me. I'm gonna put a couple of these guys on, and I'm just gonna watch it. In the meantime, we come down here and start these amazing 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredient shrimp. First in, some butter. Ooh, hot pan. That's good. Little oil to keep the butter from burning too much. And then right away and go the shrimp. And tell me what you notice. Anybody?
Red.
Well, they're turning quickly. They've been deveined, but the shells are on. I think it's more fun to eat like this. So we're just gonna get a little bit of color all the way around. I mean, this is really, it's like a 5 minutes max start to finish. Just turn them, you can see how fast this is all happening. Now, this is 1 ingredient. Here comes 2. Barbecue seasoning. Nice amount. These are 21.25s. That means there's between 21 and 25 in a pound. And just as they're getting close to being finished, because they do not take very long, what do? We add some barbecue sauce. It gets a quick mix, and then the last ingredient, about the same amount of barbecue sauce in beer form. Fantastic. Now this you just want to bubble away. Finish cooking, let this little beautiful sauce do what this little beautiful sauce wants to do. Oh, throw some parsley in. Look at it thickening up. And we're gonna eat right out of this pan. So it's there, let me turn it off, grab the bread, and we're happening. There's our beautiful pan and our bread. And what you want the bread for is to dip into that sauce, because that's everything. Let me show you how you eat these things. It's simple, but it's H-O-T. So you grab one, and you can see how it's been deveined right here. So all you want to do is you want to pull the shell off. So separate the shell, pull it back a little bit to expose Mr. Shrimp, like that. And then if you pinch right where the tail meets the shrimp, like this, you get shell in one hand, shrimp in the other. You go like that, still hot, and you take a bite. Oh, steamy little guy. All right. That might be the best shrimp I've eaten in a ridiculously long time. The barbecue sauce, the seasoning, the beer. Doesn't need anything else, except maybe you get some bread, you go like this, and now you have an outstanding bite. All right, next up. We're staying in the freezer aisle, and we're making meatball calzones. Holy smokes. Okay, I didn't say what kind, and obviously these were frozen meatballs from the freezer aisle, of course. You microwave them about a minute, let them cool, and you cut them in half. We're gonna use these in a second. But before we do, let's make a little something extra to go with it. It's very simple. This is ricotta cheese, dairy aisle. This is spinach that was frozen, freezer aisle. You see how we're just putting all these pieces together? So as much or as little as you want. And if you don't like spinach, we'll just stop it and start to like it, because it's great. And it makes stuff like this even greater. A couple things in here. Salt and pepper, a little garlic powder, shot of olive oil, and we'll mix. Do a good job. Great. right? Time for the dough. And this, my friends, you would recognize is coming from the dairy aisle. Everything's intermingled today. We'll make 2 of these. And the point in this is you make them ahead of time, bring them to the tailgate in foil, put them on the grill, indirect, warm them up. So let's do this. Let's take and cut out one right here and one right here. Very simple. First, some of our ricotta. And I'm pretty certain you understand that we're gonna go on half of it because we're gonna fold it over, right? So you got your ricotta business like this. We'll do a second one. Great stuff. Try and keep it away from the edges because it does need to seal. Now our meatballs. And how many meatballs do you want? You don't want to cheapen out, right? That looks good. All right, now more cheese. Put a little handful of mozzarella on top of each. And now we'll seal. You take your lid, up and over you go. Try and get the cheese in. And then let's do this guy too. So braid up all the way around on both, and then we're 1 step away from the oven. Let's get them on our parchment on here and 2. Make a couple little cuts on top and a tiny bit of oil. If I had a brush, I'd use the brush, but clearly I don't have a brush with me out here. Okay, my oven's at 450. Put them in till they're golden brown, and we're back. And there we are. Look how beautiful. A little leak right where my holes were, but it let some steam come out, so that's good. That's, ow, ow, yikes. Look how beautiful. Bottom. Perfect. Should we give it a whirl? Let's see what this is like. Oh, look at that. Oh, yikes, it smells so good. And you know what I like about it? It's not a red saucy business deal thing one. Could be if you wanted to throw that in, but oh, oh man. And remember, same deal with this. You make them at home, you bring them in full, you warm them up on the grill. Indirect side, you'll be fine. Well, you can't tell if you'll be fine until we take a bite, so let's do that. You see this? Wait, steam. You see that steam? You see this pocket of gorgeousness? Do you see this pocket of gorgeousness?
I do.
Meatballs, frozen in the freezer section. Spinach, frozen in the freezer section. Ricotta and the dough, not frozen in the dairy aisle. You just only listen to us. We will not steer you wrong. And as good as this is, and it's very good, we're about to blow your mind. Wait till you find out what you can make with mozzarella sticks and chicken nuggets. As promised, mozzarella sticks, still warm. Chicken nuggets, freezer section. Watch how this happens. Muffin pan. We're using these 3 and I've sprayed them all. They all get a little pile of shredded mozzarella cheese, like that. Just bring it up the sides just a little bit. Make a little divot. You'll see, like that. Now you're gonna take one of these like this and one of these like this. Okay, everybody good so far? I think so. Let's do this one. Just making a little spot. I'll turn this one so everybody's facing the same way. And now here's the genius part. Well, the whole thing's genius, but when you buy these, you get some kind of little marinara sauce. We're gonna use the sauce. So we'll take a little bit off the end and we go like this. A little sauce, little sauce. Try not to spill like I did. And then a nugget. Hey, little nugget, nugget, nugget. Okay, sauce. Sauce, sauce. Last but not least, a little bit more cheese. These are going into a 450 oven for about 15 minutes until they're beautiful. And after 15 minutes, look at them. Hi guys. You wouldn't know what this was if you looked at it. It looks like pastry dough or something. You wouldn't know that it was mozzarella sticks. Hey buddy, I love the look of you. Love the look of you. Should we cut them in half? Let's see what this looks like. Look at this kid. Look at this kid. Love it. Love it. So good. In foil, warmed up on the grill, indirect, cheesy. Everything is fantastic with this. 2 more left. Wait till you see how frozen ravioli can become the star of the show. Star of the show. And that's what we start with. Frozen ravioli. These are cheese ones. Get any kind you want. Watch this. It's really gonna be fun. This is a dish I've sprayed with cooking spray so things don't stick. I have a jar of store-bought Alfredo sauce. Put a little in the bottom, like this, and then do that. Spread it around, and here we go. So we're gonna take half of our raviolis. And it doesn't matter if they're not in here perfect. They're gonna end up being perfect by the end of this. Let's get sort of nice, even coverage, all right? Now, remember our spinach from before? Well, here's more of it. And this was frozen, defrosted, squeezed of all the moisture, and on we go. It's the craziest lasagna ever. And another casserole that you bring all done. So you've done this, add a layer of cheese, and repeat your layers. At this point, I'm gonna season with just a little salt and pepper. I like a little red pepper flake. Could be optional, should not be optional. The rest of our sauce, oh, is this gonna be dreamy. Last but not least, we finish with 1 more handful of cheese. And this now goes into a 350 oven till bubbly and beautiful. Well, there you go. Look at that pretty little number. Look at you, pretty little frozen raviolis and spinach. Look at you. Look how creamy underneath. Oh, look at this. Oh, goodness gracious. Please. And just like a bunch of the other ones, make it in a container you can bring and warm up on the grill because you know you want to. Oh, it's heaven. It is so good. Your friends, your family, your tailgating buddies from the stall beside you and behind you and in front of you will be so jealous when they smell this thing warming up. Okay, this is number 9. We have 10. You gotta end with something a little sweet, right? Who's ready for dessert? Because I am. So check this out. You see this? Something from the freezer aisle is in that. Let's get it. And we'll have a look. No idea. So we gently open it to reveal one of the greatest dessert items of all time. Out of the freezer aisle, it's churros. But wait, I know what you're thinking. It's a dumb thing. No, it's not a dumb thing. Frozen churros. You bake them. Then you cut them up. They're little snack size, right? And they're great like that, but they're better when you do this. Take 2 little containers with you. One of them has caramel syrup in it, caramel sauce like you'd put on ice cream, and the other one, crushed nuts. In this case, I used almonds because I love them. My grandmother called them almonds. And then you take one of your little churro guys like this, and you go like that. Let a little bit drip off. No double dipping, ladies and gentlemen. And just roll it around in some of the almonds. Oh, you know how good that's gonna be? Do you have any idea? The point is you can have a variety of dipping things to dip and then... So good. And you make them little because you just need a little sweet. You don't need a lot of sweet. You give people whole churros, they're gonna eat whole churros, and that's fine, but I'd rather have little guys like this. Well, we've done some good work here today, ladies and gentlemen. Today was brought to you by the NFRA, National Frozen and Refrigerated Foods Association. So, what should you do? Don't look at the freezer aisle the same way anymore. There's tremendous stuff in there that lets you make this and the other 9 things that we made today. We made 10 things. Thanks for hanging out. Hit the link below, find the recipes, and just start making. Tailgate on. Be so much more delicious this year because of us. See ya.